Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Screen Scene Guru, and today I'll be discussing The Curse of Oak Island, Season 12. If you've been covering my videos recently, I have done a couple on this season back in February, so you guys can go and check those out. I've gotten all the way up to episode 13, so this episode of my channel will be continuing the episode coverage, starting with episode 14. So going into it, I've got a bit of information pulled up on another screen. Episode 14, titled Sinking In. As the team moves closer to retrieving what they believe to be the chapel vault, a dangerous event occurs at the money pit. Following, the fellowship must adjust their plans to quickly avoid disaster. So really interesting stuff here, guys. I have been covering the show just about, I think, for the last couple of months, but I have been watching it for years. All the seasons I'm caught up now, done with season 12, but fascinating to see that they're sinking in at the money pit. Their boreholes weren't quite holding up. You guys can check out some of this footage for yourselves on History Channel. It is also available to buy on, I believe, Prime. So that's really cool. Like I do, I buy the season on Prime. Going into episode 15, we've got Channeling the Solution. New pathways discovered in the swamp suggest more activity took place on the island than ever believed. After professional analysts, a gemstone uncovered on Lot 5, and the team believing that someone with great wealth was on the island. So very fascinating news there. I believe, like a lot of other historians that have been to the island, the swamp was artificially created, and that it was in fact made by sinking a pirate ship. They discovered several pieces of the wharf and the ship in recent years. So that's really cool to see. Then going on to episode 16, we've got Open Sesame. Spirits are high as the fellowship is more hopeful than ever as the team digs into Adelaine's cave. So very interesting here. We find out that there is in fact a cave in the money pit area that they believe the treasure may have fallen into. They began to dig into the top of the cave, and they have cameras that can go in there now and get good pictures, good images. So that's very fascinating. So going on to episode 17, we've got Boots on the Ground. As the Oak Island team digs a prime location in the money pit area, they unearth stunning clues that could identify just who was behind the 230-year-old mystery. So really interesting stuff here. We hear about the Hospitallers, which is an offshoot of the Templars. Very interesting stuff. We believe that they were the ones, the direct heirs that had the wealth that moved the money to the island, and back and forth. The island was used as such as a bank for storing wealth and high-priced items like the Ark of the Covenant, or perhaps even Holy Grail and others. There are several speculating theories on where the treasure went after it was deposited on Oak Island. Many people believe it's still there. Others believe in some point in the 21st century people must have gone to the island, repurposed it, moved it somewhere else, perhaps even a government location. I'm not exactly sure. There are many rumors around. Let me know in the comments what you believe. So going on into, let's see, episode 17. I already covered that one. 18. If the shoe flips. So yeah, very interesting title. We're going into April now. We're going from March into April with these episodes. The Fellowship believes more than ever they are fully zeroing in on a treasure when they discover oak logs which may be part of a legendary platform leading them to the money pit. So very old wooden logs that appeared to be used with hand tools, axes and saws that were very rudimentary tools to be used with. A lot of the wood they've been pulling up to seems to be shored, like it was reinforced wood from perhaps a seafaring ship, and perhaps it was also had nail rods through it. It had things to reinforce it from buckling under weight pressure. Very interesting stuff that we're still not exactly sure how they constructed it to this day. So very interesting. Going on to episode 19, got the last couple episodes, guys. Barreling forward while digging a massive steel shaft in the money pit area. The Lagina brothers and their team make a discovery that could help prove the legends about the buried treasure to be true. So they do go to Malta, and they go to different locations all around trying to find out who the Templars were, and the Hospitallers, all of the descending families that eventually went on to England, France, and different areas that they came back to Oak Island centuries later. Families fought over the land. The French tried to take it from the Canadians, and then the British tried to take it from the French, and it was just a whole line of wars over treasure and supposed land that was aired, given through families. Very interesting stuff. Going on to episode 20, Just Beat It. As new research identifies who may have been behind the Oak Island mystery, the Laginas and their team are stunned by what they find in the money pit area. So more artifacts, guys, more new discoveries, really exciting stuff. Going into the last couple episodes, we've got the solution. New group ground-penetrating radar uncovers evidence of more structures in the swamp, and as winter approaches, the team puts a daring plan together to get into the solution channel for the first time. So very interesting stuff, guys. Like I've mentioned before, weather there, because they're an island off the Canadian coast, Nova Scotia. They do have a limited time frame for when they can do excavations and permits, all this stuff. They have in recent years that it has been getting more difficult to do ground excavations. They need to do proving of things are there to dig up, and that's where the LiDAR and other tools now come in. So going on to episode 22, we've got Night After Night. While the team races against the impending winter to get into the solution channel and finally receive the treasure, Oak Island, Rick and the members of the Fellowship make a new connection 4,000 miles away in Malta. So here we get to see old structures, former prisons where they put surviving members of the Templars and the Hospitallers in, and we found archaeological similarities in some of the petroglyphs in the cells of the prison. They drew the Templar crosses, which we've seen on Oak Island. They drew swords, similar iconography from when the Templars were serving. So very interesting stuff there. Even a map that seems to point the direction to Oak Island. So very fascinating stuff. We got episode 23, Family Ties. While the team races to prepare the money pit for the deepest and final dig of the season, in Malta, the Fellowship uncovers a family bloodline that connects the Knights of Malta to Oak Island. So like I said, all these family trees and doing their histories now, they have several researchers looking back through the family names, and they can prove it, track it all back. Very great to see all the team really working together. Episode 24, we've got Into the Void. After the terrifying collapse, the Fellowship is finally at the pin-piercing moment of the solution channel. It's a very interesting season finale, emotional for Rick and Marty and everybody who's been there, spent years on the island of their time. I do believe they are going to find something, whether it's gold and precious metals. Who's to say? I think it'll be more historical knowledge is what their legacy will be known for. We already found so much based off these two brothers that wanted to make their dream a reality by figuring out what's in the ground. So really good stuff here, guys. Going into the last episode of the year, we've got episode 25, Uplifting Discoveries. So, as winter approaches, the Fellowship is racing against time as they're closer than ever to finding the one thing, which of course is gold. No one wants to mention gold, I thought, funny enough, in Oak Island, because greed and bad intentions have actually led to a lot of people getting sick. Of course, this curse connected to Oak Island that several people need to die before it is discovered. Supposedly there's still one more person that has to die. We don't know who it could possibly be, but that is just hearsay, legend, because there's been plenty of people that have died working on this thing before. But yeah, really cool show on History Channel. You guys can check this out on Prime Video, like I said. They are in Season 12 currently, going on to Season 13. So really exciting news there. If you guys like the coverage, like the video, be sure to like down below, comment what you guys' thoughts are. Have you watched Oak Island before? Or if not, let me know. Is this the first time hearing about it? You can follow me on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, @SceneScreenGuru for future updates on all kinds of things, guys. I cover movies, gaming, television, comics, everything. So be sure to update your channels on all my covering videos. Till next time, shout out to everybody doing the work on YouTube. So have a good one. Bye-bye.